Hey guys, so today we have a Marquees Brownlee video, and I've never spoken about this man because he has been a tech hero in my life for probably a decade, okay? So this kind of hurts a little bit. It really does, and I'd like to talk about like not being biased and always being, open to everyone messing up and being able to discuss all of that, but I'm gonna say like I've been biased. I've been biased because I love this man and I love his content, and I have loved his content. And when like someone's been just a stable part of your life for so long, and like I don't know him, but there's like a parasocial relationship where I'm like, I trust you, I know you, we've been through this, and I've had so much faith in him, but I feel like this really hasn't been his year. And I can talk about that in a way that isn't super painful to me or anyone else, but I can just express thoughts and feelings in an unbiased way, hopefully. But I'm starting out this video just saying I am so biased. I've been giving him like the chances because there's been criticism going around, and I was like, no, he's not like that. He's just not like that. And now now he's like that. So I'm struggling, but we're going to get through this. I actually had a whole Marquees video planned and I binned it. Probably partly, I ran out of time and I didn't film it, blah, blah, blah. Partly, I think subconsciously, I just didn't really want to do it. And now here we are. And now Notion's acting up and saying this content doesn't exist when I try to restore the page. So no video to be found. And I had planned just some stuff before, and it's not here, which is great. So we're just gonna have to like do the research together as we go. I kind of wanted to talk about the other things that have been happening. So there's been a few things happening that Marquees has been called out for recently, and I'm gonna just separate into sections. So we have section 1, which is people think he has too much power in the tech sphere, and if he says something, it can essentially tank a whole company before they even have the chance to fix issues that he is bringing up. But I think that's just an issue all around, and I don't know how you would fix that with the kind of influence that he has, right? He's like the biggest tech reviewer. If in my sub box there's him reviewing the new iPhone and then someone else reviewing it on the same day, I'll always click on his video. Sorry, no offense to everyone else. Get better. I'm joking. That's not what it is. I don't know. I'm just so biased. I've watched him, like I said, for years. So he definitely has a lot of influence, and I can see how that's hard to figure out, right? Like you're reviewing a product the way you would review anything else, and it just so happens to be a negative review. It's not then your responsibility or your fault that the product then tanks and the company goes under because people are refusing to buy it because you've given it a negative review. And it's like, do you reach a certain amount of influence or subscribers where you don't give negative reviews anymore? And does that then not make you super biased? But then people want the unbiased and they want the honest, but it's when the honest gets a bit too honest. And so I think it's a hard thing. So I think the first thing that we saw was a channel called Autofocus where he does car-related videos. So I think this started because he was kind of like ahead on the Tesla hype when they were first coming out, because it's part of tech. Like I think it's a car, but at the end of the day, most of it is tech. Most of the novelty and the interest in it is the tech, okay? And so because he was reviewing Tesla stuff on his main channel, he then just created a whole car focus channel called Autofocus, and has 1 million subscribers. Now, he did this video, which is actually his most viewed video 8 months ago. This is the worst car I've ever reviewed. And this company essentially created this like super tech focused SUV that was supposed to be like an electric car, and he had a lot of issues with it. Okay, so he said that to 6.2 million people. The company has essentially now gone under. There is a lot of back and forth about if they were already going under and he was just a nail in the coffin, or if he was the reason why they're going under. And then the owner of the company actually called him and was like having a little bit of a argument with him, and then recorded that and put it online. It didn't make the owner of the company look any more professional, and so the whole thing was just basically a bit of a shit show. But people claimed that the company was already going under because the product wasn't good, and then Marquees Brownlee did his review and that just kind of tanked them further, so we're not even going to get any improvements. Now, what people had an issue with this review is a few things. First, let's start with, he was reviewing this car and there were a lot of issues that could be fixed with software updates because it is a tech focused car. Now, the company knew that he was going to do this negative review and said, hey, we're fixing actually this, and this concern that you have in the next software update. You can either wait. Oh my God, where's my voice going? You can either wait or kind of acknowledge that in your video. He basically said, I review the product the way it is now with no future kind of like not what it can be in the future, just what it is now. We'll come back to that because we'll come back to that. And so that was the one issue people had. And two, the issue of how he reviews Teslas. I drive a Tesla, yes, boo, I drive a Tesla. And it is, at the same time, the best and worst car I've ever driven. Okay, best on like 90% of the time, I'm like, wow, this is the best thing ever. I love it. And 10% of the time, I'm like, why are you trying to kill me? What have I ever done wrong? Why are you trying to kill me? Why is this not working? Why are my panels misaligned? Why is so much air flying into the car? Why is it so loud? I can't even hear my own thoughts. Why is my suspension squeaking? Why are my taillights constantly fogging up? Who knows? Why are the sensors going crazy? Why did you just slam on the brakes for no reason? You know, like there are so many issues. So I would never go out and make a whole video being like, yes, it does this, but it's still like the best car in the world. Because it's like, it's a good car for me, but that's for everyone to decide on their own. Now, the way Marquees reviews Teslas is very like, here are all the issues. Maybe Elon will fix them at some point. But it's an amazing car. And like, you can tell that he's been extremely biased towards Tesla. He loves Teslas, and that's completely fine for your own kind of life, right? If he wants to deal with X amount of issues because he loves the car so much, that is perfectly fine. But it's when you become an unbiased reviewer and then you review other cars and you give them, you have different standards for the different cars, right? Because I'd say actually, with the way he was presenting this car here, I think it's called like the Fisker Ocean or something like that. The issues seemed very similar to like the Cybertruck, which is his second most popular video on his autofocus channel, or any other Tesla video that he made. There are a lot of issues that then get fixed with future software updates. But he holds the two companies to a different standard. Now, did it help that the owner of the Fisker is completely unprofessional? No, it didn't. Actually, it didn't help. But is Elon Musk the most professional CEO? That's to be decided. Yeah, so there's definitely that issue, and it's just having these two videos side by side, you kind of notice the fact that everyone is biased, and it doesn't help when your whole career is about being unbiased. Now, he also has had interviews with Elon Musk, and I think he's a big fan of Elon Musk, or at least was for ages, and looks up to him as this like tech guy, like the ultimate tech guy, so I can see why his personal biases are coming in. But people had an issue with that. Okay, so this was like the first thing that was the issue. Now, I said I would come back to him saying that he doesn't rely on future promises and future software updates as a justification for where the product is current day. Hold that thought, actually. Okay, so he posted this iPhone 16 Pro review. Times have changed. So this is the new iPhone review. And the comments aren't very good. So this video is, like I said, the review of the iPhone. I don't know, I'm having to like repeat myself. The issue with this iPhone that was coming out was all the marketing surrounding it was to do with AI. Okay, so it's going to have a lot of AI. You can like take a picture of something and then press on it and it'll give information on what's in your picture and kind of things like that. Siri is now going to use AI. You're going to just get a lot of AI happening, okay? That was a lot of the marketing because, matter of fact, nothing changes iPhone to iPhone these days. I'm still on iPhone 14 and I was convinced I had the iPhone 15 because I just don't think anything changes. Okay, now we're on iPhone 16. I'm probably not going to get one until the 17 because nothing changes other than the fact that they like destroy the speed of your phone and your battery when the new one comes out. But that's besides the point. So the whole marketing was around AI and people were just thinking, wow, like this is going to be great. AI. The phone comes out and it doesn't have AI because they're saying it's going to come in a future software update. Do you see where I'm going with this? Stay with me. He then uses that as like a, well, you know, I know Apple's going to do it, so I'm just going to review it on the basis of it basically having AI. I'm paraphrasing here before someone's a massive Marquees fan. Me too, sis. Don't worry about it. Basically what he said, like, I know Apple's not just going to lie to us. They're obviously going to put the AI in, so I'm going to judge this phone as if they didn't essentially like kind of lie in the marketing. But the whole marketing around the phone was the AI, and the phone then comes in the box without the AI. Because the software isn't ready yet, but they wanted to push out the hardware because every September there has to be a new iPhone, and they didn't want to wait until next September when they have the AI ready, so they just gave out phones that they marketed with AI without the AI. But it was an issue when Fisker did it, right? And I get that one's a car, one's a phone, one's really expensive, one isn't as expensive, but clearly there is a different standard. So not only are we holding different standards for this new up and coming brand as we do for Tesla. We're also having different standards for different types of tech. So it just kind of feels a bit willy-nilly, like how we're picking and choosing how we judge and review products. Yeah. So I wanted to say that. Now, this smoothly brings us into the second drama. He recently released a product, and it was actually in this video, the iPhone 16 review, where he announces that he's going to be doing an app for wallpapers for your phone. And he says that a lot of people have asked him about his wallpapers, and now he's partnering with artists that can put their art as wallpapers on his app. And he actually, I think, pays them a pretty good cut. I think they get like half of the money, which is really good, because I know artists tend to get screwed on kind of royalties and stuff like that. So find the new wallpaper of the Panels apps. It's called Panels, and his pinned comment is, for clarity, Panels is free. We added an ad-free tier for those who want it. No pressure, obviously, if you didn't. Someone said, excitedly installed Panels to check it out. Realized half the content was premium only. That's fair, I guess. Clicked in one of the free ones. Realized you still have to pay for an HD version. Okay, clicked on the SD version. Realized I need to watch 2 30-second ads to download it. Uninstalled the app. One of the wallpapers on Panels is called Orange, and it's just a solid color orange. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. The app and pricing, eesh. The 16 is out, so the 15 is cheaper, meaning I can finally afford a $50 wallpaper for my 12. Marcus, never buy something for the promise of something it will do later. Also, my app will have a lot of better things to come, so get it now. That's another thing, right? So like, don't buy a product now with the promise of the future, but if it's an iPhone, it will be the future of AI, but it doesn't have it right now. But with Fisker, the future didn't matter, even though it was literally in the next software update. But then with Tesla's supposed to fix the quality control, and they just haven't fixed it over the last close to 10 years. But he still buys it and still promotes it and still okay with it. And then like my app, you know, costs this much, but like in the future there'll be loads of free stuff. I mean, loads of like new stuff. So like pay it now, but then like in the future you'll get a load of extra stuff. But like also, Marcus, don't buy stuff with the promise of the future. So golden rule number 1 of the internet, never charge for something that was already free. Marquees Brownlee, 12:31 p.m. in 2016, I guess. Never pay for a product based on future promise of updates. Wouldn't even buy a wallpaper app without the future promise of updates. Genius. No one cared about the iPhone, but video retention is great because we're all in the comment section trashing the app. Genius. Anyway, so see, that was a big drama. It was actually all over X. Let's call it X now. So yeah, this one had 32,000 likes. YouTube Marquees Brownlee is getting cancelled for trying to sell $50 a year subscription for a wallpaper app. So that happened, and people obviously called him out. He tweeted about it actually to kind of explain what the situation is and blah blah. So he tweeted obviously the announcement of, obviously linked to the video, and then announced on Twitter the wallpaper app, and then immediately got feedback and said part of building it in public is getting mass feedback immediately, which is pretty dope. Almost exactly like publishing a YouTube video. First thing we're doing is fixing the excessive data disclosures, as people rightfully brought up. For transparency, we'd never ask for your location, internet history, etc. The data disclosures that everyone is screenshotting is likely too broad and largely driven by what the ad network suggests. Working to fix that ASAP. As far as pricing, I hear you, it's our own personal challenge to work to deliver that kind of value for the premium version. Weekly Friday drops are already starting. I'll also be dialing back ad frequency for the free experience. Much more to come. I appreciate you all. Someone said, I think people are more disappointed with the fact that you bought IP developed in 2021, slapped a logo on it, and shipped with a price tag. What's funny is I saw exactly how that rumor came up, and it's just false. The Twitter account is from 2021 because it's a salvaged username from an inactive account. The app was built from scratch. We should share that more publicly because that's the biggest concern I've seen here, and within dev communities too. Someone said, bro, your innovation that you brought to the market was a wallpaper app. The target market for this is insanely small. Most people don't download a wallpaper app. This, for those who have been asking, if you're not into it, don't worry about it. I guess there is that, like, if you don't want it, don't buy it thing. Like, everyone has free will to buy and get whatever we want, right? As obviously someone says, unless you're sharing the profits with the artist, a subscription for wallpapers makes no sense to me, but he says we are, and he did say in the video that 50% of the money goes to the artist, essentially, which is great. That happened. I believe that was basically it for a while, and we all thought, something's weird. Marcus never gets called out, but he was getting called out left, right, and center. Oh, there was another thing to do with the nuking a company before they can even kind of get up and running. The Rabbit R1 review, barely reviewable. It's basically kind of like an assistant, like an AI assistant. It can help you, you just kind of speak to it and it gives you directions and stuff like that. But it doesn't work as well as a product of that price tag should work. And he obviously did the review. Rabbit R1, barely reviewable. That got 8.2 million views. Once again, basically tanked the company. They are offering kind of software updates and blah, blah. And I do think your product should be usable without future software updates, that's for sure. But then people are saying it's a shame that these companies get tanked by negative reviews before they can even make that change. Because obviously every product starts out, not crap, but just not at its full potential, and it would be nice to see where these products can end up. But at the same time, you want to give honest reviews and you want to save people money that they would spend on a product that isn't great. But then you also want the innovation and you want new products coming in, mainly into the tech space. Like, you want new products coming in, and they can't come in without a few duds here and there that they can fix along the way. And I guess if they didn't get tanked, maybe they'd be able to fix those along the way. But it's also not his responsibility to not review product negatively so that you can hold on and try and fix it, because that's his job, is to review product. And so he's been basically called out for this. And even the video before that was, do bad reviews kill companies? And yes and no, but at the same time, you should be allowed to review things even if it does tank a company, because reviews are allowed. Like, I don't know how much clearer I can say this, but he's basically been getting called out for a while, and people have been shifting their opinions on him for a while. Now we get to the last part, which is the most recent controversy, and it's this video from a day ago, how my video gear is changing. I watched this video. First of all, I didn't realize it was sponsored. Like, the whole video is sponsored, and I just don't think he's ever done that. Like, he's received free products to talk about, but I don't think he's ever done just like a full dedicated sponsored video. But I think it's because I do chores while I just listen to YouTube videos. I don't watch them. So maybe I just wasn't focusing and I didn't hear him say that it was a sponsored video. Or maybe he didn't say it, but it says it in the description. It says, thanks DJI for sponsoring today's video. Check out their like camera. It's basically like kind of a GoPro. He's basically saying how my video gear is changing, and that he wants to do more kind of like less massive cameras and more just filming on the go, filming clips, having the small camera just always attached so he can film clips as he goes, and it will change like his filming style or something. I don't know, but basically it's essentially like a GoPro. And this whole video is sponsored, which I didn't realize. And if you look at the comments now, there seems to be something missing. He cut out a few seconds of a clip of him speeding in a residential school zone, right? It's like an area that is usually limited to a certain speed because there's a school there and there's school kids walking through. So typically in the UK, those areas will be a 20, at most a 30 mile per hour, but it's the same in America. This area was apparently a 35 mile per hour zone. It was a built up residential area with a school and school kids. He was driving a Lamborghini there, and he was showing a clip of him driving and how he had this thing essentially hooked up to show like, these are the kind of clips that you can film with this product. And he was doing 95 miles per hour in this 35 mile per hour residential school zone. And obviously I didn't see it because I was just folding up some laundry, wasn't watching the video. And then he says, cut out the unnecessary driving clip. Unnecessary? You were committing a crime. Like, that's actually, in the UK, you'd actually get disqualified. You would just have your license taken away from you if they caught you doing that, essentially, right? But he like filmed himself committing a crime, and a pretty serious. Now, here's the thing. I am not. So I think sometimes you can fall into the habit of overly criticizing things that everyone does. Like, just because you're in the public sphere, you're not allowed to do anything that someone else does. And someone could be criticizing you while they also do the same thing in their personal life, but because there's not a camera following them and they don't have a following, it's fine. Do most people speed? Yes, to a certain extent. And if you're watching this video right now and you drive a vehicle and you tell me that you've never, whether by accident or on purpose, sped at least a little bit, you're lying, okay? Everyone's done the 5 over, the 10 over. Everyone has done it, okay? But I think there is a difference between doing a 40 and a 30 or an 80 and a 70 and going 95 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour residential school zone. Right? Am I crazy? And I just did a video on Jack Doherty, whatever his name is, Jack, right? He was driving his McLaren, texting or like responding to chat on his phone while it was raining, and he sped up and he hydroplaned and crashed his McLaren, almost like killed himself and his friend. And everyone had a go at him, right? Because he was obviously doing something really reckless, like texting while driving, and then he sped. Obviously he was stupid and he got the consequences of his actions. He crashed his car. The only reason that Marquees won't get called out as bad as Jack is, first of all, Marquees' reputation is much better than Jack's, obviously. And so he's given that leeway already, right? If you're someone with a good reputation, you're given that leeway anyway. And then 2, because nothing bad actually happened, right? If the Jack situation hadn't ended in a crash, it probably wouldn't have made as many think pieces as it did, but it did end in a crash, and some people were able to say like, see, you did stupid thing and you got a stupid consequence. With Marquees, I think he won't get called out as bad because he didn't crash his car. He didn't drive into a kid going 96 miles per hour in a Lamborghini. This is ridiculous. Like, this is so bad. And filming yourself doing a crime. Now, he said, cut out the unnecessary driving clip that obviously added nothing to the video. What it added is it showed us that you just like to commit crimes on a regular basis. I hear all your feedback on sponsored videos too. People are saying, first of all, this whole like sponsored video, and it looks very impromptu. It looks like you've just thought of this idea yourself, and it's just like the whole thing is sponsored. But two, it's not just an unnecessary driving clip. It's actually quite necessary. Someone said, just so everyone coming in late knows what happened, Marquees went in and removed a 5-second section of this video where he recklessly goes 96 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. He's attempting to sweep it under the rug, it would seem. Bro slammed the pedal to the metal in a school zone for a fucking sponsor video. Like, that's another thing. To do it in a sponsor video is crazy. And it's gone from the video. His team jumped on that quick. I lost my brother to someone driving over the speed limit in a school zone. I hope you get everything that's coming to you. You better make a public apology because this is downright disgusting behavior. 96 miles per hour in a school zone, dude, what the hell? Editing out the crime does not make it disappear. Love that he cut out the unnecessary driving clip that added nothing to the video that just happens to show him doing 96 miles per hour in a school zone. You're wrong about one thing. It did add something. It showed the viewer the level of your integrity. Wow, I paid for YouTube Premium and still ended up watching a 9-minute ad. Fuck my life. Yeah, I didn't know it was an ad, but that just because I probably just wasn't focusing hard enough to hear him say it. Oh lol, they cut that driving segment out quick. Now, the thing is, he says that he cut out this unnecessary driving clip, which makes it sound like he just like kept it in, didn't realize he was doing 96 and 30. I don't know how you do a 96 and a 35. I can't quite comprehend. And I'm not someone that like hogs the streets going below the speed limit. But I also don't do this, whatever this is, right? Like 96 and a 35 is criminal. Criminal, like quite literally criminal. This is criminal. And I might come out with a controversial opinion here, but if you're doing 96 and a 35 and it's a school zone, I don't think you should have a license. Unless he had like that road blocked off for filming. For some reason, it was just a random clip that he added in and he had that road blocked off because he was reviewing a car or something, because that could make sense. Like if you're doing maybe like a 0 to 60, well, he was going 96, so it's way past the 0 to 60. But you know, when they do like the speed test, maybe he blocked that bit of the street off or had some kind of a permit. But I don't know if he would do all of that for such a short clip of just a bigger video that's got nothing to do with cars. But maybe it's a part of a different project that he's doing. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he actually had a permit and he blocked that street off and there was going to be no kids, no pedestrians, no other cars there. But if none of that is true and you were just doing a 96 and a 35, I don't think you have a license. Well, you have a license, but I don't think you should have one anymore. Preferably like pronto. Like, I don't think you should be driving. Anyway, so people are having an issue with the fact that he was doing 96 and a 35 and that he said it was just an unnecessary clip, but he actually blurred the speed once it went past 60, which even 60 and a 35, it's still bad, right? But let me show you guys this clip. The reason why I know that this happened is because he said, last video I did something pretty stupid. You might have already seen it, but maybe not, so I'll address it here. There was a clip of the action cam of me test driving a car and going way too fast, too spelled wrong. Absolutely inexcusable and dangerous. I've since cut it out of the video with YouTube's editor tool. I also understand that this looks like covering it up, but I think it's the right thing to do. There's no reason to leave that clip in. There was no reason to include it in the first place, and I would never want to make it seem okay by leaving it in the video. I'm well aware of the Streisand effect, and I know everything on the internet lives forever, but I think that's the best decision right now. All I can do is apologize and promise never to do anything close to that stupid again. That's a terrible example to set, and I'm sorry for it. Now, because of all of this, it makes me think that there was no permit, right? Like, even that benefit of the doubt that I can give, I don't think there was one. I think he was just doing a 96 and a 35. Someone said, lots of people remain unhappy, but this is a good apology. I don't care how good of an apology you give. Going 96 and a 35 is objectively a crazy, disgusting thing to do. You did a very dumb thing. We've all done something stupid before. You recognize it's dumb and you aim to do/be better. That's way more than most people will do. Thanks for being straight up and addressing it. I mean, most people aren't doing 96 and a 35. I make YouTube videos about consumer technology on Snazzy Labs, viewed by millions for over 15 years. Okay, well, I hope you don't do 96 and a 35. Someone said, this is not your year, huh? Someone said, it's definitely the most reckless thing you've done, but in the last month or so, you continue to damage your reputation. First, the wallpaper app, then the speeding. Now you're doing 9-minute sponsor videos you once said you'd never do. It's digging into your overall credibility. And someone said, looks like covering it up. You already tried to do so by blurring it on the dashboard when it hit higher speeds. So he's saying, oh, I just kind of left that clip in. I guess like didn't realize how fast I was going, like that whole kind of ambiguous I just didn't know, like, playing kind of oblivious, right? But you did know how fast you were going because you blurred the speed once it went past 60. So let's watch this video quickly. So it's at 40 right now, 50, 60, and then he blurs it. And it just keeps on going up. Now, people did see a sign somewhere that said it was a 35 in a school zone. Someone said this was the downfall and where it started. Second speedo, 54, 45. Oh, 96 miles per hour. And here is the, obviously, here's the, oh, why am I pointing at the laptop as if you guys can see that? Obviously, here's the school zone, and here's the speed limit, 35. And he's already doing a 54 there. And then, obviously, he gets up to 96 around here. So, that's fun. Someone said, pro tip, when committing any crimes, do not film and publish it. If a cop caught you going nearly 100 in a 35, you'd be going to jail. Like, not even disqualified. Like, I actually think you'd be going to jail. Like, I think this is like jail time. Someone said, you did cover it up though. You blurred the gauge cluster, but forgot the passenger screen. Delete the video at the minimum. Give money back to DJI. They don't want to be associated with this. There are zero consequences here for you. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, like, he's already made money from the AdSense, made money from the sponsorship, probably a load of money because he gets incredible views. You know? Oh my god, people are tagging the police. Ugh. You live and you learn. The internet loves acting like the model citizens. Okay. What's with these tech influencers that just think like the rules don't apply to them? Everyone speeds. Not everyone, okay. A lot of people speed at some point in their life, whether it be once or every time you drive. You're going to speed a little bit. You might not notice. You're going 5 over the limit. You're going 10 over the limit. Everyone does it, okay? And that's why I don't want it to sound like I'm like the moral police saying, oh, well, I would never do that and you should never do that. Okay, that's not what everyone is saying. Everyone's saying, look, everyone does things, everyone speeds, like I said, 5 over, 10 over. Going 96 in a 35 residential area is criminal. It's jail. And I just wanted to show you guys all of this, and it pains me to film this video and post it. But that's that. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.